excitement of that. And Ed and I were put in situations there that were so bad, and we always won. We always came out on top. And sometimes here, being a garbage man with this company, we don't always win, and it has been really hard on me with that. It's not always smooth and easy going, and everything doesn't mesh together perfectly. But I love my job. It's awesome. So when the other day when I said that I give up, it's not that I give up. I let it go. It's not it's. I've been bitching for the last 4 or 5 years, and I mean nothing's changed. I got the pack can off my truck because of my new route supervisor, which has pretty much saved my ass. But the things that I have a huge problem with are not going to change, and they say they can't and whatever. So I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Okay, they're not going to. I will not be the angry garbage man anymore. But the situation that I have, and it's really easy to explain. I met the guy. One of my stops shuts off. It never comes back to me, and I don't go down the street. I go from house to house to house. So if this person shuts down and comes back on, and I don't know, I don't go there. And so by the time I get there, they're very upset or angry, and there's nothing they can do about that. So I actually met the guy who wrote our computer program for our route system, and I was very polite. Shook his hand, said, "I'm Aaron. Can I talk to you a second?" And she's like, "Sure." I said, "I'm having a problem with this," and I said, "I need to ask you." I said, "Oh, in this circle, split 4 ways, okay, route 41, 42, 43, and 44. When 41 customer shuts off, the computer shuts it down, someone else moves in, it goes right to 41. He goes, "That's correct." I said, "My coverage area is the whole thing. I cover all those routes. Is there any way we can take my stops and segregate them to Route 21? I can we can get 1,500 of my customers, and is there any way we can mark all those to come back to me?" And he goes, "Absolutely not." And I'm like, "Wow, that's a pretty quick answer." I said, "Did you understand what I said?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "There's absolutely no way." And he just looking at me, and I thought just for a second, he's thinking Wapner 2 o'clock, Wapner 2 o'clock, like he's some kind of savant or something, a computer program, socially awkward freak. But he just said there's absolutely no way to do that. And I'm like, fuck, man, that's all I need. I just need that one thing to make my life complete. And the couple things that have really given me pause there, there was a new route supervisor, and I mean, he used to tell this story because he liked it, but it was his first day on the job, and I'm usually always been the first one at work in the last 4 or 5 years. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just not. And I go there, and he's already there, and I walk in the office, and he stands up, and he's like fucking Hulk Hogan, man. The guy's a monster. Big Fu Manchu and shaved head, and he's like 6'3", but he's hunched. He's broken. He's been a garbage man a long time. And I said, "Hi, I'm Aaron Reinwald." He goes, "Hey, I'm so-and-so." I said, "It's nice to meet you." As he's shaking my hand, he kind of looks me up and down and says, "So, you think you're a garbage man, huh?" And I'm still shaking his hand. I said, "Let me tell you one thing right now there, slick meat. I'm not a garbage man. I'm the garbage man. There's not another motherfucker here that can run my route efficiently as I can on a consistent basis." I said, "Sometimes when I'm on vacation, they put 2 people on my route. All right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Any question?" He goes, "No." I said, "This side move for you, up move, down move, what is it?" He goes, "It's a promotion." I said, "All right, I just want you to know here at of Salem, you get a rock and a stick. You don't get to use them at the same time. You either get one or the other. And I really wish you the best of luck." They ended up firing him, over his work or whatever. But the situation I had with him, sometimes it gives me such pause dealing with people. Everybody has an 800 number on the back of their truck, and I think all cars should have an 800 number. I had a guy come around me the other day, cut me off. We ended up at the stoplight next to each other. He cut in front of me, and he was over there. My side door's open, and he looks up. I'm like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hey," and I said, "God, that new a car with the blinkers that don't work, I mean, is it under warranty? I'd take it back." And he just fucking looked at me. I'm like, you fucking asshole. But he called me in the office, this route supervisor, and he goes, we got an 800 call on you. I'm like, great, let's go check it out. And so he sat me down, and I said, okay, what's that? And he goes, the guy said he was behind you over on such and such street. You were on your phone, picking up cans, knocking over every other one, driving down the street. I said, okay. He goes, you need to sign this. I said, I'm not signing a fucking thing, man. I said, now it's time for my questions. Number one, where is this street? He goes, well, it's over off of Silverton Road. Is that any part of my route? Is that anywhere I would be? I don't have any customers on that street. I don't even know where it's at. No. I said, okay, second question. What kind of truck do I drive? Well, you drive a semi-automated. I said, yeah, I have to get out, grab the can, run a lever, it picks up the can and dumps it and put it back. I don't even have controls inside my truck, do I? Can I drive down the street and pick up a can? No. I said, okay, where does my GPS say I was? My GPS said you were over on Laux, about 12 blocks away. I said, what the fuck are you even talking to me for, you moron? Well, they said it was you. I said, motherfucker, I just showed you 3 things there that it wasn't me. It's impossible that it was me. Well, you need to sign. I said, I'm not signing a fucking thing. Fuck you. And I walked out. And the other boss met me. What's going on here? And I said, he wants me to sign. He says, you have to sign that. I said, I'm not signing shit. And I explained those 3 things to him. And he goes, even though it was you, this isn't an admission of guilt. This is an admission that we talked to you about. I said, that's fine. I said, the only way I will sign that is if you write on there, after investigation, this was not Aaron Reinwald and truck, blah, blah, blah. And both you fuckers sign your names to that, and then I'll sign it. And they did. And I said, what the fuck? And then the next day, I asked my supervisor, I said, did you find out who that was on that street, who picks up that garbage, and maybe his 800 number close to mine, and did you talk to him that we got a call on that? And, no. I'm like, you worthless piece of shit. No fucking follow-up on that, and you're going to fucking pick on me? That really gave me pause in that. The only thing I've ever got about giving my most there is more fucking work, But the reason that I will give up is my final story about the garbage thing, and it's a tragic one. I have snowbirds on my route, and they leave for 3 or 4 months at a time. And I have this lady, and I get in my dispatch, my little book, I get one that she has been picked up in 2 weeks. What's the problem? Transferred. That means transferred, but it's been someone else's book for 2 weeks. So I pull up to her house and park across the street. In the garage door, I can see it. I'm like, fuck. And as it comes up, I'm in her driveway, and I see the white penny loafers and the navy blue slacks and the blouse and the black sweater, and gets up to her red lips, her rosy red cheeks, and her blue eyeshadow that goes clear to her fucking hairline, and her blue hair, and her hands are on her hips, and she is shaking fucking mad. And I always greet all my customers either good morning, good afternoon, and sometimes it's even good evening. And I get out good, and she goes, where in the fuck have you been? And I went, good morning. My name is Aaron Reinwald. I've been your garbage man for almost 11 years. I've also been getting your yard debris the last 7 since I got this new truck. I said, I can say no disparaging remarks about the corporation I work for. There is absolutely no excuse on how you've been treated. There's a reason, but there's no excuse. And she goes, if you have an excuse, if you have a reason, I'd like to hear it. And I said, I'm no problem. I said, and she is still, she's shaken, I said, you're a snowbird. She goes, I am. I said, well, let's just call you a snow angel then. And she went, oh. And I thought, well, geez, I thought her blood pressure, she was going to pop on me or something. And I said, when you leave, it shows in my book that you're a seasonal stop. My little dispatch book, I showed her. I said, I don't come to your house. I come to your house one more time as a courtesy to make sure both your cans are empty because I don't want them in there for 3 or 4 months. You go away, and you come back in 4 months, you call our office, and they say go. that computer system immediately puts you into the rapid rail guy. You've seen that truck drive by with the arm that shoots out. She goes, yeah, I've seen him. I said, the first week, two things happen. He doesn't see it or he doesn't care, and you don't get your trash picked up. She goes, that's correct. I said, second week, two things, one or two happen. He sees it and writes in a book, not mine, and or you call. Most likely you just call. It's still in his book. You call and say, hey, I've been signed up for trash. It's my second week. I still haven't got picked up. This brings us to our third week. I get the dispatch in my book that you're back, hasn't been picked up, and that you're transferred to me. That's the first indication that I know that you're back and I need to come get your trash. And she goes, Aaron, it is always 3 weeks before someone comes here to pick up my stuff. I said, be aware, it's not someone. I told you, it's me. And I've done everything in my power to try and solve that. And it's frustrating just as much to me as it is to you that I can't cure that. They told me they can't, it has to be like that. They can't make it come back to me. I said, I'm not psychic. I don't know when you come back. I have to be told. They always say we are a frontline employee. And I have to look you right square in the eye and say, this is the best we can do. I said, I'm mortified and I'm embarrassed. And she goes, you should be. And she's standing next to her garage door, you know. And she goes, Aaron, I appreciate you explaining it to me. She goes, I understand that now. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And she goes, well, I think I have the cure. I'm like, what? Really? She goes, yeah, I'm only gone for 3 or 4 months at a time. And I think it'd probably just be easier to pay those 3 or 4 months than have you people try and fucking figure it out. And she closed the garage door. I'm just standing there going, fuck, man. I tried to do everything I could. And she's pissed. Rightfully so. You know, she's pissed. So being accused of that thing and this old lady bitching at me, all things I can't control. And they used to drive me insane with that shit. And I'm just not going to fucking do it anymore. It's a job. And it's like I said, it's a fucking phenomenal job. Don't get me wrong. I love it. By myself all day long. I mean, it's killer. But my friend said, you can't, and I never thought of it like this, you cannot hold people to the same standard in which you hold your anal retentive perfection self. I'm not perfect about a lot of things. I have my issues with stuff, but my boss recently, he asked me what my interview process was like when I got the job, and he said, who'd you interview with? I said, I interviewed with, and he goes, yeah, and he goes, what do you remember? I said, I remember he asked me what my biggest pet peeve was. And he goes, what is your biggest pet peeve? I said, other people's job performance affecting mine. I will do my portion better than anybody else on the fucking planet. You give me something to do. If your portion affects me and you can't do it, then we're going to have a fucking problem. And he goes, I had hired you on the spot. I said, well, didn't. And he goes, notice that is no longer here. I'm like, yeah, that's he's not. But I think trying to hold people up to that, my issues of, you have to fucking do it right. And the only person that actually really got to see it really bad, I did some work for my one of my greatest friends, Melissa Chapman, and I was painting in her house, and I was cutting the line from a brown wall to a white ceiling, and I'm up there and I'm painting, and she's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, I can't talk right now. And she's like, why? I said, I have to cut this line in, right here between the ceiling and the wall. And she's like, what's a big deal? I said, it's a fucking huge deal. I said, I'm painting your house, and people are going to come in here, and they're going to see that, and they're going to know that I did it, and it has to be fucking perfect. And she goes, you're serious, right? I said, yeah, it can't be flawed. And she goes, I didn't realize how bad that is for you. I said, sometimes it's really fucking bad. It's really bad. But you go to her house and look at fucking killer paint job. Awesome paint job. So that's it in a nutshell. But yeah, I love being a fucking garbage man. Miss construction, miss Eddie Warto, Woodry. I mean, it's all part of life. But this has been the longest rambling I've ever had. So I hope it was enjoyable. I didn't go off on too many tangents. I had a lot to say, and I feel so much better since I've let it go. The past 2 to 3 days have been fucking amazing. I feel really, really good. And I'm going to be at work at 5 o'clock on Monday instead of 4 o'clock. So that's life. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Love to all of you.